I'm Dr. Vanita Rattan. I'm a doctor, but I'm also a cosmetic formulator specifically for skin of color. Right, so today's video is something that I have experienced, I'm sure we've all experienced, and that is how our hair is damaged in the sun and on holiday. So your hair is under far more environmental assault than usual. So you have UV that is damaging the scalp, that is creating free radicals in the scalp and creating an unhealthy scalp, which means that hair growing from an unhealthy scalp will be more brittle. In addition, UV breaks down the keratin proteins in our hair, which again makes it look dull. That's just the UV side of it. On top of that, we have chlorine. Chlorine, when we jump into the water, our hair strands swell with chlorine. This makes your hair strand vulnerable to breaking, and this then leads to split ends. So imagine you're constantly in the water, in the chlorine water, drying, and if you put on top of that wind, which can happen when you're like I love to go water skiing, your hair is being whipped around in the wind, which also doesn't help the situation. You end up with a case of your hair looking dull, brittle, split ends. I used to dye my hair blonde for about 15, 20 years of my life. And my hair would always, look a little bit more brassy, when I came back from holiday. So it wasn't the same shine that I went out with that I came back with. And I'm sure a lot of us have experienced the same situation. And then, often if I went on a girls' trip with my girlfriends, and you go out at nighttime and then you're trying to straighten your hair and you're using hair tools, heating tools on your brittle hair that is ready to break any second, it just gets frizzy very quickly. 5 seconds of dancing on the dance floor and your hair is, a bit of a mess. So today's video is a bit of a long introduction, but today's video is to teach you all the things that you can do to protect your hair while you're on holiday so that when you come back, it's not obvious that your hair has been on holiday. So that sounds good to you? Give me a thumbs up. Let's dive right in. So the first thing we're going to talk about is UV, because that's obviously the thing that is going to be affecting everybody the most. So there are a few things that we can do. Number one, get good at wearing a hat. Okay, so the hat is not just for protecting your face from melasma, which is obviously what I'm obsessed with because I get melasma, but also is to protect my hair from UV. That's essential. The other thing I would say is purchase products that have UV filters in them. At the end, I'm going to go through the best UV filtered products that are safe for skin of color. And don't forget, none of my videos have ever been sponsored. They will never be sponsored. This is purely a reference library for my skin of color family. So you know what to purchase and what to steer clear of. Now, when it comes to jumping into your chlorine water, what I would say is your hair is a little bit like a sponge. If you look at your hair under a microscope, it would be quite thin, the diameter. As soon as you put it in water, it swells. When it swells, the hair becomes weaker and breaks more easily. This is why we say don't brush your hair in the shower, because it's likely to break in the shower. So what I would do is, instead of jumping straight into chlorine water, I would have a shower first. I would let my hair swell with normal water and then go into the chlorine water, because the worst thing you could do is to have dry hair, jump into chlorine water and allow the chlorine to swell your hair shaft, because chlorine, it can be quite damaging to the hair and to hair color, so the hair health and the color of the hair too. So that's the first tip that I would do. And actually, get your children into that habit, from the beginning too. The next common thing that happens is sand. So if, you're like me and you love to play in the sand and, you're making sandcastles with the kids, etc., lying directly onto the sand with your hair is a bad idea, because sand is coarse and it's almost like you're now introducing an abrasive material into your skin, into your hair, which is now already brittle because of the sea salt, etc., that's been happening to your hair and UV. So if you are going to play in the sand or lie down in the sand, always make sure you have a towel to protect your scalp. Now, I would always opt for hydrating hair care. So I love hair masks and I love leave-in conditioners, but you want to go for safe products, meaning no denatured alcohol, which can be drying to the scalp, no fragrance, because again, that can lead to contact dermatitis, and no essential oils, because that also sensitizes your scalp. We're doing everything we can to keep the skin on our scalp healthy, because 70% of us get dandruff, have irritated scalps, and actually we should be, a lot more careful with the shampoos and conditioners and leave-on products in our hair. So I actually really struggled, honestly, to find you safe hair masks and leave-in conditioners, but these are the ones that I managed to find. The first one is No Nothing Moisture Treatment. Choose the one that has no fragrance in it. Briogeo Be Gentle Detangler. The ingredients in that are also very good. Pro-C Custom Hair Mask, so you can choose to have it without fragrance. That's what I would do with that. And Kristen S Deep Treatment Mask. So these 4 I managed to find. I think I went through about 20 different masks in order to find these 4. So those are the 4 that I would recommend. Okay, so the next big no-no, which you are not going to be happy about, and that is heating tools. They are a nightmare because you get left with the damage of hair after your one night. And honestly, whatever you do with your hair, it becomes frizzy really quickly if the hair is not healthy, which none of our hair is healthy on holiday. I would say please try and opt for non-heat style hairstyles. So whether you plait it and you let it plait and allow it to just curl naturally, whether you use, I use curling gum in order to just I've got very naturally curly hair, and it just maintains my curls without it being too frizzy. Loose ponytails, loose buns, don't do anything too high up on the head, or because it can lead to, traction basically can lead to hair loss. So we don't want to do that either. So we just want to be really gentle with our hair. Like my new favorite thing is hair bands. Like I feel like I've turned into a little kid again with all my hair bands, but it doesn't damage my hair. Worst case, if you have some epic night out and you know that you have to use heat on your hair, then please use heat protection spray, because actually you do want to coat the strands of hair so that it minimizes the damage to your actual hair strand. If you want me to do a full investigation into best hair sprays and heat protection sprays for your hair, can you write down below that you want me to make that video? So heat protection sprays, just write that down below so I know how many people are actually interested in that, or if it's just a bit of a waste of time. So just let me know. Okay, so I also struggled to find you UV filters in your shampoo and conditioner, but I managed to find 2. So the first one is Kerastase Soleil. So it's got UV filters in it, antioxidants in it too, which is essential because of the free radicals from UV, plus ceramides, which is obviously hydrating. It also contains safflower oil, which is great because it's also an emollient. So I love that product, and it's safe. The second product I saw was Philip Kingsley. Again, it's got UV filters in it, and it is designed specifically to prevent your hair color from changing. So those are the 2. Now, the one I would say is really the best form of protection is a swimming cap. Now, I know a lot of you are going to think, I'm not doing that on holiday. But if your hair really is brittle and it really is damaged and it really is bothering you and affecting your self-confidence, then just buy the swim cap, because so what, that's how I feel. I just think do whatever you need to do to make yourself and feel good. So that's generally my motto in life anyways. I'd also say everyone go and get a little hair trim before you go on holiday, because you really want to get rid of any split ends. Don't forget, those frayed split ends are weak. And now if you've got chlorine in there and you've got UV damage, then that protein is just going to disintegrate, and it's going to lead to even more frayed edges. So I would say everyone does need to get a little trim before you go on holiday. Don't wait for the split ends to go all the way up the shaft, and then you've got to cut your hair even shorter. So that would be my final tip on how to protect your hair on holiday. Don't forget to download your free guide for skincare for skin of color down below. Follow me on Instagram, Dr. Vanita Rattan, and Skincare by Dr. V. On TikTok, Dr. Vanita Rattan. And on Facebook, we now have a private Facebook group called Dr. V Inky Hackers. And it literally is just for my Inky Hacker family. So that means that you're able to read 50% of the ingredients at the back of your skincare packaging. You have the best skin of your life. You don't waste money on marketing, and you tend to help your loved ones with their skincare too. It's a type of person who's a Dr. V Inky Hacker, and you'll find us all in the Facebook group. So do join. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know which other videos you want me to make, and I'll be in the comment section for 1 hour at the launch of every single video. Take care. Bye.